joined now by three people who come at this story from three very different angles. So we need to get a real sense of what is going on and what we can expect. Who do we have with us? Cal Kempfer, retired Marine Intelligence Officer and the CEO of Global Risk Intelligence and Planning, Inc. Caleb Harbin-Marshall is a former TSA officer. Doug Burnetti, a transportation trial attorney. I'm so happy to have all of you on. Hal, I'm going to start for you. From a security perspective, what are you concerned about? Do you see real vulnerabilities? Do you see a real risk right now?
Jesse, I see a real risk right now because you have Iranian sleeper agents, potentially sleeper cells. You have Hezbollah heavily involved in this thing. All of them are, well, in the world of terrorism, better trained than your average terrorist. So, yeah, there's a lot of concern right now. And here we have a shortfall of trained TSA screeners at a number of airports. We're bringing in 1811 series special agents from ICE. That is not a bad fill. They have a lot of complementary skills. They can cover a lot of areas that could be done by TSA, by trained TSA. But yeah, I am very concerned from a security perspective.
Just to follow up on that, Hal, could it have a deterrent effect? Could bad actors say, wait a minute, I'm seeing armed ICE agents all over the place. Maybe I'm not going to go. Maybe it's different if it was just TSA.
Absolutely. Actually, that's probably one of the strongest things is the deterrent effect. It's the same thing after 9/11 when we started putting military, we put armed military at the airports. It really wasn't so much. They didn't have a lot of training specifically on terrorism and stuff like that. But when you go to an airport and you see somebody carrying an M16A2 and they're in a battle dress uniform and you see that Kevlar, it has an effect.
Caleb, over to you. 40% call-outs at some airports. Have you ever seen numbers like that before? And for people who don't know, what does that actually look like for the passengers? And what does that look like for the TSA officers who are there, I imagine, doing maybe double shifts, double duty?
Jesse, that is extremely high. As you know, I've worked at Atlanta's airport, which is the busiest airport in the world. 40% callouts is really extreme. So that means that they're consolidating, checkpoints, that they're closing lanes to even function for the volume of folks that they have in the lines. For travelers, this is huge wait times. And I want to be clear, wait times start from the queue's starting point. They're not gauging wait times from the people outside of the queues, outside of the doors, all the way behind baggage claim. So what you're reading on websites from airports or the TSA app, which is not being monitored right now, you should add at least an hour or two to that time because it's not the full picture.
Doug, I was thinking for a second about whether or not there's going to be a legal challenge and who would bring it in terms of ICE being there. And I remember the president of the union that represents the TSA officers said they deserve to be paid, not replaced. Do you think they're mounting a legal claim here? Because as we know, federal law designates the TSA officers to be operating there, not ICE. ICE has a very specific role in terms of immigration enforcement. Do you think they're going to be mounting a legal claim?
That's a good question, Jesse, but I think you hit the nail on the head. There is going to be some kind of lawsuit that's probably going to come from the union, but it could also come from some consumer group or consumer protection group. I think they're just waiting to see when something happens because there's a line. A ICE agent cannot perform the job duties of a TSA screener. TSA screener has to have certain training, certain certifications that most ICE agents do not have. So when that line gets crossed, you're going to see problems.
If it does, because here's what's interesting about it. First of all, I also want to know if anybody would mount a legal challenge if this was working and saying if ICE is actually helping, would they want to mount a legal challenge where they're taken out of the airports? Which, Caleb, I go to you. I haven't seen any reports today that ICE was interfering with airport services or airport operations. Do you think that they can provide a hand if, again, there is short-staffed?
Absolutely not. ICE agents are not certified to do any of the key critical functions that TSA officers do. TSA officers spend at least 6 months to get certified to do the X-ray, to pat down travelers. Can you imagine ICE patting down women and patting down men? That's with guns on their hips. No one will want to travel with that happening. And this ICE doesn't need to be there. If TSA needed help with mitigating lines or crowd control, they they can do what they did once before: tap into the airline staff, tap into the airport staff that is already there to assist. ICE doesn't need to be in airports across the country right now, and it's just in intimidation to the traveling public at this point.
Hal, is it a problem that ICE is there and maybe not on the streets, not in jails? I mean, it was talked about a lot in the past day, the Loyola student who was killed, and those are the kind of nightmare scenarios. Is this taking them away from getting the bad guys off the streets?
Well, certainly there's no shortage of things for ICE to do, and there's a lot of investigative work to be done out there. I will say one thing, though. They are trained 1811 special agents, all right? A lot of the training that TSA and Caleb, you can join in on this, but a lot of it is OJT. I can train an 1811 special agent on the tools of how to pat somebody down, to do it in the same way TSA does, and a lot of other things. They are special agents. They can pick up a lot of those things. It's just a matter of getting trained by TSA to do it. Not everything, certainly not the scanner, stuff like that, but there are a lot of things they could do if needed.
Doug, I want to give you the final point here. I want to give you the final point really just quick about the security checkpoints, because there's a lot of concern about whether ICE is also going to be operating in immigration enforcement. And I think that there's an interesting point if they approach people at the security checkpoints to ask about their immigration status, aren't they allowed to? Because the other counter-argument is, oh, well, this is just a pretextual, right? This is a pretext to, and they would argue, defense attorneys would say this is unconstitutional. There's no probable cause to ask somebody, you know, if they're illegal or whatnot. Do you think it's going to be complicated, or what should we be looking out for in terms of their operations at security checkpoints, Doug?
Jesse, you hit the nail on the head. There are anti-ICE people out there now, I am sure, that are just trying to catch one trying to do that, because if they use this placement at the security checkpoints to do any kind of immigration screening, any kind of criminal screening, that could violate our constitutional rights, Amendment 4, or the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, 14th Amendment. So there's real potential for problems here.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love this panel, so I hope nothing happens. I hope there's no negative effects of this, but I do want to continue the conversation. I wish we had a little bit more time, but as things develop, let's all maybe do this again and see what's actually happening. Hal Kempfer, Caleb Harbin Marshall, Doug Burnetti, appreciate you all taking the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse.